Hello there, my good friends. How are you all doing today? We're still here with our own 1993 Land Cruiser Series 80, and we continue studying this car's ignition system. Today we're going to carefully inspect precisely what the coil is, the coil itself, the one that sits right here, and we will also examine the ignition module. On this occasion, we're going to get them running. That is, we're going to do it, the people among us who spark in a controlled and careful manner. And for this purpose, we will need today a battery, and we will need a current test device. We will need some alligator clips, and we will need a 3/8-inch ratchet, extension bars, a 12-sided die, and a 10-sided die. And we will also use this press to position the coil there and to carry out our tests right now indeed. Well, friends, then without further ado, we are going to start with this tutorial. To begin, we will start by removing the coil, which has a 12mm screw on the right side, and on the left side there is a 10mm screw. We're going to disconnect the cables, and we will also remove the ignition module, which has a 12mm screw there. And we are going to remove it as well, right now. Alright guys, we're continuing with the tests of the ignition system components. Here we already have our coil and our ignition module, all set for testing. Right now I placed them on the press and left the wire connected at this spot here so that the spark can jump to the metal piece that has the same coil as the one we're using for testing. Let's proceed to make the connections for both the coil and the ignition module, carefully and step by step. And next I will show you a diagram so that you all can clearly see how these connections will be made together. Very well, friends. So we continue with the tests of the components of our ignition system at this moment. We already have our coil placed in a press and our ignition module, and we also have the connections I previously passed to you in the diagram. As you can see, the red cables are connected to the positive terminal of the battery. We have a black wire that is connected to the ground, and that means it is connected to the metal parts of both the ignition module and the coil as well. And we have a green wire. The green wire is connected to carry the signal that the ignition module sends to the coil to produce the spark. How are the connections? Well, as for the coil, we have from the side where the connector's latch is located, there we observe a positive electrical voltage. We measure 12 volts. And on the opposite side, the green wire is connected to the final pin precisely located on the far end of our ignition module. As I mentioned in the diagram I sent you just a moment ago, we also have that at the very center of the ignition module, there is a red wire connected, which indicates that it carries 12 volts or direct current from the positive terminal of the battery. Now, this is exactly what we are going to do as part of these steps in order to make this simple setup give us a bright spark. We will place our tester, which is a normal tester, in the circuit so it can participate in the measurement as part of these procedures. We will connect it to the battery pack using the clamp, and we will touch the tiny pin beside the center contact. When we touch it with the tip of our tester, this pin should discharge a spark across the coil. Let's go ahead and give it a real try. Yes, so that you all can clearly see it. Then every time I touch, that pin fires a spark, the coil, showing that both components are functioning well and in good condition. This is how they are tested separately when removed from the car and isolated from the car entirely. So friends, we can be sure these two are functioning properly and consistently. Remember, if you want to test, for example, just the coil, the only thing you need to do is place the crock clip of your current tester on the negative pole and verify that the voltage entering here is present on both sides, here as well as on the green pin in the green crocodile clip, and you can compare the readings to be sure. Sorry, we're slowly moving over to the other side now, right now. There it is, right there for you to clearly see. If that didn't happen, it would mean that our ignition coil is open and not functioning properly at all. Then it wouldn't send the spark. So with this, we conclude this tutorial on exactly how to test the ignition module of a Toyota Land Cruiser from the 1993 model year Series 80. Yes, and we sincerely hope you enjoyed watching it today. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and please turn on the notification bell for new videos now. We'll install these components again in the truck. And, well, it's a pleasure to greet you all today. See you all.